As promised, here I am to talk about what to do when negative emotions, especially from experiences, keep popping up. And since I said this is going to be a live video, I'm going to give everyone about a couple seconds to hop on, because I always like to make sure that the people watching the replay just get straight into it, just how I like to do it. So we're going to be talking about what to actually do when these emotions come up. What's up, Pat? Thanks for joining me. And a lot of times, we'll go through a situation in life and then we keep replaying it in our head, or we keep thinking about it over and over again. And if that's ever happened to you, comment below. Of course, I want to know, because this is pretty human. This happens to a lot of us, especially if it's something we think could have had a different outcome. But here's the deal. Sometimes we're told to push those emotions away, not to think about them, to let them go. And while those are great pieces of information, how do we do that? How do we actually let things go? How do we actually move on? And what do we do when these emotions come up? What's up, Preston? Thanks for joining. When you guys come on, say hey, let me know if you've been through this before. So here's the deal. Emotions come up for a reason. They are a response, right? Energy in motion. It's a response to something going on. But here's the interesting thing, and I've been thinking about this a lot this week. Some of us get really sad when something happens. Some of us get angry. Sometimes we could go through the same thing multiple times in a lifetime and have different emotional responses. For example, a hater comments on one of your posts saying you suck, you're the worst, and you laugh because it doesn't faze you. But if it was your mom who said it, wow, that would be really painful. What's up, Patrick? So there's a reason why we have these different emotions come up. Sometimes we laugh about something, sometimes we cry about something, sometimes we get mad. What do emotions do then? They teach us something about the situation. So what's really important is to ask ourselves what emotions came up and what they were there to teach us about. What's up, Rosie? Thanks for joining me. So essentially, what I want you to think about when you have these replaying events in your mind, ask yourself what emotions you're feeling, or what emotions are coming up, or what emotions were present when you went through it. Maybe you were confused. Okay, why were you confused when you could have been upset or mad or angry? Do you see what I'm saying with this? It's really about identifying what emotions came up, because we can all have a different emotional response to it. So the emotions are teaching us something. The second thing to do is to actually look into, aside from what the emotion is teaching you, but look at the lesson or the beliefs you took away from it. These things keep popping up, usually because we still haven't learned the lesson, or because we're holding on to something that we haven't fully identified as a release. We're not prepared to actually let it go. So what do we need to do? We have to see what beliefs we took away from it. Sometimes we take away this belief that we're incapable, or someone else is incapable, or for example, I'll give an example. It's much easier if I use an example. You try to get into a fitness routine, you fall off the wagon, and you think you suck at this, you're not able to do it. Another example, you hire someone to join your business, join your team, they fail to do their job, and now you have to decide to fire them. And then when you fire them, you think, well, I'm not going to hire anybody else because I can't find anyone to do the job correctly. Well, that's a belief you took from it, but it's not necessarily the lesson that there was to learn. Right? It's the lesson you chose to learn based off of emotion. But now that you know what the emotion was there to teach you, you can now actually go into the belief system that came out of it and then rewrite those beliefs. Okay, so let me know if you guys are following along, if you get what I'm saying here. I love seeing you guys hopping on live. Thank you for being here, Martha, as well. So when you're looking at the beliefs, right, it's going to be really important that you go, okay, these are the beliefs that I took away from it, and these are now the beliefs that I have to take away from it in order to grow and progress. Here's one thing. This is one thing that I think a lot of people miss the mark on, and that I've actually found lately when I bring it up to people, they realize wow, I never thought of it this way. And it can change their whole perspective on something that they've been through. And here's the deal. You are not the same person as you were when you went through that thing, specifically because you went through that thing. So just the act of going through it changes you as a person. Every single moment you are changing, you are growing. Right now, as you watch this video, things are changing, synapses are connecting, maybe even strengthening a bit. Things that you knew but hasn't really settled in. They're getting stronger. You're going to be able to recall this information even more. So thank you, Patrick. I'm glad this is good stuff for you. Preston, I'm glad this is great. I'm glad it's making perfect sense. So essentially what we want to do is we want to take away beliefs that are going to help us moving forward. And exactly as we change, our beliefs can change. And who we were when that event happened isn't who we are now. Who we were, especially when that event happened, was an emotional version of us, not a version of us ready to grow and progress and take away from it what we needed to learn. So what we did is we take away an emotional belief versus a chosen, more rational, reflective belief. And one thing that always helps me is actually the act of reminding myself that I am a different person now than I was when that happened. So now when or if that situation ever came up again, I have the strength to face it because I've learned from it. I've taken the opportunities to actually go into it rather than pushing it away and thinking, oh, I shouldn't be thinking about this. Oh, I'm going to ruin my life because I keep having these negative emotions pop up. I just have to push them away, which can result in them storing in your body and showing up physically, like literally manifesting physically or creating so much stress in the body that you actually have physical ailments. We don't want that, right? So it's important to actually go through and let them go. Letting them go by identifying what emotions came up and why they came up for us. What were they trying to teach us? Why sadness versus happiness? Why anger versus confusion? Why did we feel like we wanted to punch a wall instead of like we wanted to just lay down and cry? So being aware of what they're teaching us. And then identifying what new beliefs now do we have to take in order to grow and actually be able to go into these situations much stronger and ready to rock. So I like to ask myself, well, who have I actually become because of the situation or from the situation? Sometimes that's a painful question to ask because it could be negative and it might not be someone you like, but you have to see that that's you so you can become someone you love even more, right? Loving and accepting yourself as you are is important, but when you love yourself, you're willing to go into the dark spaces and shine light on them and see where growth is necessary. So remembering you're a new person, learning the lesson, identifying why these emotions came up, all of these things are important so that, you know, as humans, like these things aren't just going to disappear in thin air. Like we're not going to be like, oh, sorry brain, just going to store this in a completely different spot and never ever be able to recall it again. Like I'm going to choose to have amnesia over it. No, it doesn't work like that, especially if it was a significant event. That's just not how we're wired. We're wired to remember these things and latch onto them and hold them. And the reason for this is because we can grow from them. They are significant events in our life to serve us moving forward in our growth. And if we choose to push them away because they're painful or because they're a nuisance continuously popping up, we're missing the whole point. Why not celebrate it, right? Yes, this is awesome. I'm so glad it's showing up. There's something to learn from it. Boom, I know why that happened. Okay, I get it. This is what I need to learn, but I had taken away this lesson, which wasn't serving me, and now I can move forward with more knowledge because I'm a new person. Just because I went through that, I have improved. I have changed. I have gotten better. So what's up, Jenny, Shannon, Jono? Thank you guys for being here too. We've had a lot of awesome viewers on here. I would really love to know if this is something you guys have been through, have experienced, and what you think about the things that I've shared here today. Do you think this is something that you have the ability to implement? Do you feel like this is something fairly easy to start using when those thought patterns come up? I understand that sometimes it's really deep. I personally like to journal about this stuff when it's really deep, but when they come up, I can just really quickly ask myself, whoa, why is this coming up? What lesson haven't I learned, or what lesson did I learn that I just need to remind myself of? And I'm sorry, I talk so fast. I realize this because I just get in such a flow. But yes, Jono, go back and watch it if you lost signal. Preston said that he had an attached emotion to cold calling, and he changed his perspective, and now he enjoys making the calls, and he's getting positive results. This is huge. When you actually learn from the lesson, especially if it's a negative emotion, you can come out of it to generate really positive results. I have experienced this time and time again, and I talk to people every single day, clients like who literally go through this all the time. They have these negative experiences, negative emotions, but we can flip it and continuously learn. So when these things keep showing up, remind yourself of the lesson learned, go through the steps I shared, and of course, if you need more help than that, see about different types of therapy or psychology or courses or mentors you could hire in order to improve your life. So I really hope that this was awesome info for you guys. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're watching this video. Just make it awesome. And of course, if you have any questions at all or are looking to get this one-on-one help and really dive deep into these negative emotions, limiting beliefs, and anything that's come up that's kind of been holding you back from really loving and embracing the best version of yourself, then all you have to do is shoot me a message and I'll get you kind of through the application process. Since I only work, and I put this in a post earlier, I literally only work with like 3 to 5 people a month, and I'm not just saying that to be like, go apply. Like, I seriously only do because it's a huge investment of my time, so I need you to be just as invested as me, and I make sure of it. So again, with all that being said, I hope you guys love the rest of your day and your night, and let me know your guys' thoughts. Always love hearing from you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the love. Thanks for being awesome. I'm gonna have an amazing weekend, and I'll make sure to keep you guys posted on it, but I won't be on social media too much, but I can't wait. I'll be checking my messages for those of you who are interested. So chat with you guys soon.